Welcome in again, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the French Immersion. Let's get the story. And the story, as I understand it, French Immersion, Lincoln Parish Public School System, a 5-year commitment in 2018, I think, maybe 2019?
2018.
2018, yet has been on the cutting board, if you will, going from the cutting edge of French immersion and to the cutting board at the end of this school year. We're going to be talking with another parent, Sara, Shadoin Duke, and get her story. And also we have Carson. Carson is going to be giving me a French lesson. But Sara, if you would be so kind, first of all, tell us your introduction to French immersion when you first heard it, because I understand that Carson's one of the veterans, right?
That's correct. He's been in it since it started in 2018 at LPEC. I first heard about it when we did the registration for preschool. Mm-hmm. I had not seen it advertised or heard anything about it, and it was just a option there, and so I signed him up. I was a little hesitant just because it was new to us, and I wasn't sure how that was going to work. And after 2 weeks, there was no more hesitation, and I never hesitated, keeping him in it for every year since, and we're going on his 4th year.
One of the things at the parents' meeting that was held the other night at Glenview School is a concern that maybe the numbers of the participants of the children in the program needs to be more, but at the same time, a lot of people, a lot of parents said they never knew about it, just like yourself. So explain, I guess, what French immersion is, and then how would somebody get their child enrolled in it?
Well, French immersion is when 60% of their school day is conducted in French. It's called, I think they say it's the target language. Mm-hmm. It's not the lesson to learn French. They're learning the same things that we learn, math and science and social studies. It's just in French. It's conducted in French.
Right.
They still have a regular English class, English language arts, and I think there's an enrollment form on Lincoln Parish School Board's website, mm-hmm. but it's under the French immersion program. If you just go to the kindergarten or 1st through 5th registration form, French immersion is not an option on there. You would have to know about it, and a lot of the parents that I've talked to that have come in the most recent years have only heard about it talking to other parents or a friend that says their child was in it.
I've heard nothing but great things from the parents about the French immersion program, including yourself. And this is going to sound like a statement that you rarely hear, because you rarely hear it, is, and we'll get it from Carson as well, my child loves to go to school because of French immersion. Am I making that up?
That is 100% true. Carson loves school. He loves to learn. He loves to read. He loves to go to school. We don't have arguments about getting up in the morning or going, and mm-hmm. I think that that's general across the board for all the ones in his class.
Carson, if you would, come on over here. I want to ask you, is that a true statement that you really like to go to school?
Sometimes I want to stay in bed.
That's being honest. I like that. Now tell me about French immersion. Do you like that?
I love it.
Why?
Because our teachers are very nice. They also give us chances when we get something wrong. And they also help us when we're either hurt or stuck in math. That's it.
Well, you've been doing the French immersion now for 3 years.
This is the begin.
This is 4th?
4th year.
4th year. And over those 4 years, have you found, tell me what else you've learned by learning French 60% of your time in class. How does that help you in your other studies? Do you know?
No.
Your other studies like English?
Like English and...
It kind of helps me the same as I do in English.
Mm-hmm. Good, good. What can you tell me in French? Because your mom said the other day, you know, Carson teaches me French. Why don't you teach me some French? Can you do that?
Je suis triste. Est-ce que tu peux aider nous, s'il te plaît?
And what did you just say to me?
I said, I am sad. Can you help us, please?
Say, Mr. Rick, you're one of the best-looking guys I've ever seen. No, don't say that. I'm kidding. All right, why are you sad?
Because I don't want the French immersion to end, and I don't want all of my nice French immersion teachers to go away.
Valid cause. If I were to say, you have a lot of support, not only from your parents, but from other parents and other students as well. So let's keep a good attitude out there. Can you say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in French?
I haven't learned.
You have not learned.
I've not learned to say that.
All right.
I know how to say Santa Claus,
Well, let me hear it.
Papa Noel.
Papa Noel. There you go,
In the
Carson.
song they say Petit Papa Noel.
You can sing it.
It's a long song. And no, I cannot sing it.
Gotta love the honesty there. So, Carson, thank you so much for taking the time. So, Sarah, all right, what else at the meeting the other night? A lot of people had a lot of questions, and kudos out to Superintendent Ricky Durrett there for fielding the questions. He didn't have all the answers by his own admission. What was your takeaway from the meeting?
I was not completely elated, but I was not all that defeated either. I still think that there's a lot of questions that we have and that I think he has that came from the other night.
Right.
I try to be optimistic, and so I like to lean more towards being hopeful. And I think that if we get together, I think that there's solutions to the concerns, and I think we just need to work together and have the support to be able to find some answers.
Sure, and one of those questions and concerns that came up was the way that this information got out to the parents, and it was a unilateral decision, it seemed like, because it did not seem that the school board was not, the members were up on this before the announcement was made?
To my understanding,
okay.
When I talked to my school board representative, she did not, we got the notice that day, and I talked to her that afternoon, and she wasn't aware that it was happening. So I don't think that was decided across the board.
You know, and one of the things also is why French and why not Spanish, but there's something to it, and this is above my pay grade, but the cognitive development on learning the French language, a lot of folks are misunderstanding that this is a geographical thing. No, this is a learning thing in the, again, cognitive development of the child, so that there is measurable benefits from learning this. And I think you cited some of those statistics. Care to share with those on the tests that come in at third grade?
Yes, and that was one of the concerns the other night, was the first group, the second graders going into third grade next year with standardized testing. But the Louisiana Department of Education on their website has the statistics from the LEAP scores. And French immersion students, 3rd through 5th, and then even on up, the ones in South Louisiana that go past that grade, scored higher in every category, including English. Math, science scored higher than non-immersion students.
So the answer to the question, why not Spanish, as if it's an either or, tastes great, less filling, red pill, blue pill paradigm. No, matter of fact, you could do this and that. It doesn't have to be exclusionary, but that's not for me to make that decision. The one thing is that this was, when you signed up 4 years ago, it was a 5-year commitment, wasn't it?
Correct. We were told and guaranteed that it was through 5th grade. The hope would be, once we got to that point, we could extend it through 8th and then hopefully even 12th. But they just didn't know how that would work with junior high and middle school, and we understood that,
sure.
And you know that we were good with that. But we were all under the impression that they would have it at least through 5th grade.
All right, and now this is primarily, if not 100%, funded via Codafill. And then there may be some ancillary costs that Mr. Durrett talked about, but at the same time, I'm understanding you, the parents, have stepped up to fill the void in whatever need came up with these teachers. Kind of explain and touch on that.
Sure. The teachers, starting from when it was at preschool, moved here. They came here to teach this program in Lincoln Parish. And so as a parent group, we provided them with furniture and household items. They could only have so much moving across the world. I know a lot of parents stepped up and helped them set up bank accounts and cell phones and vehicles. In fact, Carson's another teacher told me that she has never had 100% parental support in her classes. And somebody mentioned the other night at the meeting, they put on an Amazon wish list, and in a matter of minutes, the parents have taken care of it. And
I saw the other night, too, at the meeting, it was very overwhelming to see the concern of a whole group of parents showing up at 5 o'clock at Glenview, 5 o'clock, and I understand the holiday season. I think Lincoln Parish News Online said about over 100. I know it was well over 100. I'm thinking closer to 200. And at the same time, Superintendent Durrett, and as well as another school board member, lauded you all about you group of concerned parents being active, involved in your students' lives. That's one of the reasons why they're doing so well. But then I'm sitting there thinking, well, then why are you being penalized by having the program cut?
Right.
That's just me. I don't know.
Right.
So.
And I think a lot of parents comment on their kids and compliment their students in school and behavior, but not from a partial mother standpoint. But when you have other educators and people in the community comment about just their behavior and their demeanor, not necessarily their grades, but it's how they conduct themselves. Yes, as parents, it's our job to enforce that at home. But when other people see that, and we attribute that to the French Immersion program and the way that it's helped them grow.
Well, one of the things with the Lincoln Parish is the leader in the state, I think statistically, because now I'm getting invested in this just by being here, is that education is one of the key pride points, talking points of Lincoln Parish, with 2 universities, a stellar Lincoln Parish school board education system, and this is just another feather in the cap, if you will, jewel in the crown, the French Immersion, of all the great things that are happening in Lincoln Parish. The French Immersion is a statewide initiative, obviously primarily south of Alexandria.
Yes.
But are other programs being cut or that you know of, or is this the only one in the state?
I don't know specifically. I had heard last month maybe there were some issues around another special program central to Lincoln Parish, but I haven't heard of any others.
Sure. Sure, and I don't know if it was you, but a lot of folks, coming through what we've just come through, still coming through in all of this COVID cacophony, trying to navigate through. Even last year when Carson was at home doing the online studies, he still showed up for work, for school, didn't he?
He did.
He smiled.
COVID was interesting for everybody, I know, but when we found out they weren't going back to school, that was our concern. What about French? Because we can help with the others, but we cannot teach French. So they were in kindergarten, which was the first year, that first grade, and their teacher was amazing. She stepped in, she stepped up. They had French every day. It was through an app where they would talk, kind of like FaceTime. And I learned French through hearing them, and I could tell when she would ask him a question if he answered it in the right or wrong way. Just from hearing them speak taught me. And every day he'd ask, when's Madame Sara going to call? When am I going to talk to Madame Sara? When am I going to do French today?
And he smiles once again. All right, so from what I understand, the next meeting, I think the Lincoln Parish School Board meeting, is going to be in January. Ricky Durrett said that we're going to have some kind of committee get-together. So I think progress is being made to maintain the program. I
hope so. And I think it's important for people to see the support, how passionate and supportive we are and we want to be to help save it.
Yeah, no, and a lot of folks, well, this is a device. It's not a divisive issue. It's a uniform issue, literally, from the parents. The only thing got divided was a potential that it be cut. So it's not a divisive issue. It's uniform. So any other closing thoughts you may have here to talk to those that are not French immersion literate?
I would just encourage people, if you have questions, to ask.
There you go.
All of us are open and available through whatever form of communication is best. And I don't know. I guess that's.
Well, I'm here to help in that. That's the
Thank
only
you.
reason I'm here is like,
Thank you.
it was Rachel, can somebody help me? And I heard the heart cry of a mother. I said, yeah, I'll help. Come on, we'll just sit down. We'll talk conversation and answer questions. So if you have any questions, my email is ATL-Ruston@gmail.com. Again, ATL-Ruston@gmail.com. That's why I will encourage you to bookmark www.atl-ruston.com. That stands for all things local. Hashtag EverLocalB. Also, I got a mirror site up now. It is www.atl-lincoln.com, streaming life and live from Lincoln Parish. If you can dream it, I can stream it. So bookmark that. More content coming that is relative, compelling here for our part of the universe where we can take effective action to do the most good, to borrow the phrase from the Salvation Army. I just like to add expediently, effectively, and efficiently. So, Carson, come on back here and give us some words of wisdom in French again. What would you like to tell the camera and the audience?
Bonjour, comment ça va?
Joyeux Noël, I do believe, is Happy New Year. Did I say that right?
I'm pretty sure you did.
Thank you.
Good job.
All right, there you have it. We'll stream you later. Good job.
Thank you.